Hollie Hobby here. We're going to be cooking today in the kitchen. Please take a minute, subscribe, like, and comment below. I hope you guys are excited because I'm very excited to share with you one of my favorite recipes. I use this recipe when preparing for camping trips, when we're going to have long weeks of break for school, and there's just something quick and delicious and fills your tummy every time. It's my version of breakfast burritos, and it's not super fancy. We're not going to make a bunch of potatoes and go into a lot of hours of cooking time here. Very, very simple ingredients. You'll want to get yourself a package of diced ham. Make sure it's been thawed. At least 8 eggs. Some tater tots. Tortillas that are big enough for breakfast burritos, some milk, nature seasoning, salsa, and shredded cheese. And I also use foil to wrap the burritos in. I don't like to do parchment paper, mostly because the foil does contain any of the odors from the actual fruit itself in the foil. Parchment paper tends to not, but if you prefer parchment paper, it's totally up to you. You can actually microwave that or just remove burrito from that. You don't want to microwave anything in foil itself though, because, well, you light everything on fire. And although that would sound like a little bit of fun, be a hot mess. So I don't recommend that. All right, I've already washed my hands, turning on the oven, and let's cook. So first things first, you're going to want to get the eggs situated. You may like to crack them in the pan or may not, totally your preference. I prefer to because I don't like to wash a bunch of dishes. I also don't put any of my eggshells in the disposal either. So I think I'm going to just do the whole box, which is going to be a little bit more than 8. And that's fine because if you have enough tortillas, it's just going to make more fun burritos. What you want to look for as you're doing this is make sure you don't get any shells in there. I happen to have found one. And if you're a person who likes milk in their eggs, a little dash of milk will do. I'm not really big on measuring out to specifics, mostly because I like to just play with things. So when it kind of visually looks right to me, that's what I roll with. A little bit of paper towel is also handy in case you spill a little bit. Don't want that to cook onto your stovetop. I do like to wear an apron when I cook as well, mostly because it can get to be messy. And if you're wearing your favorite Panic at the Disco shirt like I am today, you don't want that to get all gucked up. Let's see how many. I have one more. I do like to use the cardboard container that the eggs come in as the trash receptacle, if you will, for the day. It's just, I don't put things in the dishwasher or the disposable that don't, the disposer that doesn't need it. So I've got my milk. If you're lactose intolerant, obviously milk is probably not ideal. You can use different kinds of milk. I use 2%. Just adds a little bit of creaminess to the eggs. I also like to add a little dash of nature seasoning. A little dash will do ya. Now, important tools to have. I like to use a spatula and this chopper. And what you'll notice about this chopper, I know it's a little dark, you can use it for ground beef or for eggs. And the greatest thing about that is because we're going to be doing the consistency of a scrambled egg here, it's going to break these apart really easily. It also helps you to chop it up later once it's a little bit more done. So you don't have just chunks of egg in your burrito, but it's really nicely evenly distributed throughout the burritos. This idea is a stem off of a camping trip that I went on with a friend in high school. And he loved to make breakfast burritos. He would do all the due diligence. He would make all the green peppers, make the salsa, make all the potatoes and everything together, and then start to mix it all up. And I said, you know, that's great and all, but having kids, you kind of run out of time. You want to spend time playing with them instead. So I came up with this method. I'm just going to let the tater tots just kind of warm up. I will be chopping them down with this same utensil. I don't know its fancy name. I call it the chopper tool. You can get them at actually most grocery stores, Bed Bath & Beyond. If you know someone who sells Pampered Chef, that's a good option as well. As we're waiting for these to kind of warm up, I'm just going to add my salsa. You can pick any salsa. I would recommend a decent sized medium jar. I'm going to do this size. It's this much left in this jar, maybe a fourth. And this was actually a 64 ounce. I've used 3/4 of that. I do have my own homemade salsa that I will use if we need more of the seasoning. Now, if you don't want to use a pre-made salsa, you can always take a few cans of diced tomatoes, maybe a can of Rotel, and add different seasoning that you prefer in there. So we're just going to actually use a different utensil here. Let's stir this up a little bit. Now with the ham, you're going to see there's a little bit of liquid that comes in here. You want to drain that before you get it in there because you don't need those preservatives and fats in this. It's going to be fatty enough as it is. So since this is already thawed, I'm just going to go ahead and add those in there, stir it up. Looks like we do have enough juice. You'll see that consistency is really, really nice in there. So when we add the eggs, that'll be the perfect amount of sauce for that. So I'm just going to actually put this other salsa away. So as we're waiting for the eggs to start getting moving, I wanted this to be the first recipe that I shared because it's one of the first ones that my family fell in love with. And it's really hard sometimes with a family of 4 to come up with things that everybody likes. Or at least most of them, right? So I like rock and roll. I like magical, whimsical things. I like the color purple. I love black. I like dark blues and greens. And I will listen to techno. I'll listen to country. It doesn't matter to me. But I was raised in an environment that said you can be anything you want to be. You can listen to anything you want. And be yourself, be unique. And so I decided early on, not only was I going to be able to listen to the rock music and dance and do the things that I enjoyed with my personality and my little combat boots, but I also wanted to be able to know what it was like to navigate the kitchen, know what it was like to really explore my creativity through music, through crafts, through painting, through gardening. And so that's what we're going to be doing throughout this channel. I hope you enjoy it. I actually did touch my face, so I'm going to wash my hands. And you want to use hot water. We've all been learning this, right? At least 20 seconds, lots of soap, scrubbing, hot water. Okay, so it looks like this mixture is starting to warm up and bubble. So I'm actually going to turn it down a little so the juices can get in there. The eggs are starting to do their magic, so we're just going to stir them up a little bit. I'm curious, comment below, what's your favorite kind of breakfast burrito? Do you prefer sausage? We'll do breakfast sausage from time to time. I do like to brown that up. I always like to have potatoes and eggs in mine. Sometimes I'll do a green chili. I do like that. Just depends on the mood. Not everyone here likes the green chili though, so if I do that, I'll make a smaller batch for myself and my husband. I find cooking to be just simply therapeutic. I mean, especially if you know the recipe. I do find it overwhelming sometimes when looking at a new recipe. I've been cooking with this chef in Italy online via Zoom, and he lives on a boat. He's been traveling the Mediterranean, and I bought his cookbook. It's really brilliant. It talks about the top 50 things that you should always do before you start to cook. And one of those is read the darn recipe. His name is Chef Lucas, and you can find him on Facebook at Cooking with Lucas. It's a great book, really great recipes. I don't know if I'll be making any of them here on the channel, but even just this week, I was looking online for some recipes. I really wanted to try my own crab cheese wontons, and it had some weird seasoning for it, and it gave it a really savory flavor, which is not what I was looking for at all. So that's a case of, good golly, Miss Molly, I just started cooking away and then added the ingredients, not thinking twice about the end, what that would taste like. Okay, you'll see it starting to really form. So it's a good idea to keep flipping them so they don't get stuck on the bottom. It's a good time too, also if you like cheese, you could add it to this or you could add it to the burrito itself, which I will show you. And this is that chopping method that I mentioned now that it's getting to be a little bit more firm. These will be ready in about a minute or two. You'll see it's really starting to get solid and good texture. I'm a big texture person. I like that consistency a lot. I'm just gonna finish taking this off and turn off the oven. You don't want to leave an oven on, even if you're going to make additional meals. Let it cool down. Save on some energy there. Now I'm a cook as I go, or clean as I go person. So my different areas, I'm doing that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and dump it in. Remove these from the stove top. Turn off this heat as well. Dump it in. You'll see that the eggs are still pretty solid and in big shape. That's why I've got my chopper tool in here, because we're going to just chop that along with those potatoes so that everything is about the same consistency. Now when you get this in the sink, be sure to put cool, warm water so it doesn't sizzle, and then it'll be nice, easier to clean. You just chop, 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 stir. It's starting to mix in real well. Potatoes are breaking apart. Eggs are breaking apart. I feel we've created a really good consistency. It's mixed up very well. Okay, now we're going to start putting everything together. You'll want to make sure that your tortillas are room temperature. Take one out, plop it down. 1 spoonful of this is more than enough. If you had bigger tortillas, then you could do 1.5 scoops and take a little bit of cheese, sprinkle it on top. You can fold the burrito in 2 ways. I do like to fold up the ends, but then also roll it in like this. I'll show you again. Then I fold the sides over, fold the flap over, and then just roll it up. Now it's done. I'm going to finish wrapping these burritos. It looks like we'll have about a dozen. They can hold in refrigerator for up to 5 to 7 days. And if you put them in the freezer, you can always take them out, let them thaw for a couple of days, and you'll be good to go. Like I mentioned, never put foil in the microwave. You can totally put it in the oven if that's what you'd like to do. When I go camping, I take these and I put them right on the grill, our camping grill. And so I just turn both sides. The fun thing about that is it does this nice brown, crispy coating on the outside of the burrito, which just makes it taste like campfire, and it's so perfect. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get to try it and that you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, comment down below. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let's be awesome in all things, my friends, and cheers to awesome recipes.